Hello everyone and welcome back to coverage of Grand Prix Khembul for the Revolution format. I'm Caillou and today we're going to be watching the round 3 match between Drake, who is on blue-white control, and Platypeople, who is on red-white Eldrazi Scion or Eldrazi Spawn token ramp. So essentially Platy is going to be trying to ramp into some big boy threats, while also at the same time having a bunch of tokens on the board that Platy has some synergies with. You can kind of switch between like token-based aggro slash value with cards like Perspicacity and Haze Herald, while also just ramping out a Tyrant of Tributes and ending your opponent's entire career. So Drake just going to pass the Riverside View. Meanwhile, Platy is having a pretty strong start. Ancient Stirrings to grab a Forest into an Explore, has another Explore, and a Flourish and Calamity in hand. So it's doing quite well. I think that playing the Forest is unfortunate but necessary if Platy wants to play the Putrescent Carrier. The reason it's unfortunate is because you want to have basics in hand for Flourish and Calamity to actually be a reasonable Explore. Drake, meanwhile, not hitting much of anything right now, doesn't have any interaction. And I think that's going to be a real issue, especially with this Putrescent Carrier. Just when you drop a Nest Parasite, it's just going to be a problem. Okay, so you swing with the Putrescent Carrier first to try and like bait out any interaction. Doesn't want any spells countered. Main 2, you drop the Practice Range, play Explore, probably play the Secluded Farmland. Actually, should have played... No, actually couldn't have played the Secluded Farmland. Yeah, so you play the Explore, hits an Ascendant Peak. The question is, do you play the Flourish and Calamity or play the Nest? I think you play the Nest Parasite, because now... Oh, that puts you up to 8. Yeah, because that puts you up to 8 colorless permanents on board. So Putrescent Carrier will start becoming a real threat next turn. Can Drake still kill it with a Justice? Yeah, Drake can still kill it by flashing in a Justicar Overseer on attacks, and then redirecting 2 of the damage back to itself as a 5/5. So on upkeep, Putrescent becomes a 5/5. Which normally would honestly just carry this entire match. Like having a 5/5 for 1 that just keeps growing is terrifying. Putrescent Carrier, like, definitely balanced by needing a good number of colorless permanents, but Drake doesn't seem to have realized that Putrescent actually gets buffed up here. But yeah, Justice can still block and kill the Justicar and has no other really legal or good plays here. Has to, like, yeah, at this point, Drake has to drop the Justicar Overseer, block the Putrescent Carrier, and then Platy is out of good, or not out of good options, I suppose. Still has Burning Dawn this turn into next turn, Invoke it as another threat for Drake to deal with. Flourish and Calamity, as soon as Platy hits another land, you can also play that and then play it from the grave as well. And then Ascendant's Peak to just grab back Putrescent Carriers and stuff once... because Platy, at this point, any top decks are good. So yeah, Drake having to drop the Justicar Overseer here to immediately kill a Putrescent Carrier. No other plays that make a lot of sense. Okay, so the Putrescent Carrier trades with the Justicar Overseer there. Drake taking 3 in the exchange, 2 from the Putrescent Carrier's Trample, 1 from the Nest Parasite. Gonna play out a Flourish and Calamity. Just cantripping through so much of the deck. And actually hits a mountain, so we'll be able to ramp there. And then yeah, I think you just play the Ascendant's Peak, play Burning Dawn on face, and the next turn you can either coalesce Flourish and Calamity, invoke Burning... You probably want to invoke Burning Dawn since that can't be countered. And then 1 more land and Ascendant's Peak is online just to bring back Putrescent Carrier as a 4/4 at its base, and then it just keeps growing. And Drake just doesn't have much here. Like, again, citywide restructuring is strong in 2 turns, give or take. But actually not even 2 turns, because Drake doesn't have the two more white sources that he needs. I guess Gareve is fine, but Gareve will kind of... play... I think you just play Practice Range here. Ascendant's Peak to get back a Putrescent Carrier. Yeah, that just seems like the best play to me. Because you either want a Burning Dawn or Ascendant's Peak here, because that way it doesn't use the stack like Flourish and Calamity, so it can't be countered that way. Okay, Platy choosing to Burning Dawn instead of get back the Putrescent Carrier. I could see doing that because the Putrescent Carrier gets haste, so you actually get more damage in if you drop the Burning Dawn now. You want to play your non-haste stuff, or you want to play your non-haste stuff before you play your haste stuff, so that they can attack a turn earlier. On end, Drake is going to be able to drop a Pilfered Memories, and then try to draw into an out here. But it is looking a little dire. That slow start from Drake was just not the best. Callback also makes discarding not so great stuff pretty fine here. Yeah, I think you definitely discard. You want to keep the Luxurious Estate for sure. Discards the Khembul. Is choosing other stuff to discard. Oh, I guess yeah, okay. I guess you can just discard Khembul because it's a colorless card. Yeah, it makes sense. So now can play Luxurious Estate tapped to hopefully set up for a citywide restructuring, or a Garif next turn. Then you hold up Justisar, you hold up Cursory Glance and Negate for a Flourish and Calamity. Oh, actually the question, okay, plays the island, I guess because once Justisar Overseer plus one of the counterspells up. But that does mean that Drake will have to pay 2 life for the Luxurious Estate next turn. Oh, and is tapping out. Tapping 3 for what now? Oh my god, okay, he's playing the citywide restructuring face down undercovered. That's actually interesting. I guess the idea is you can eat a Nest Parasite, and because Luxury District untaps itself on each untap step, we'll still have Justisar Overseer up. Yeah, the problem is Platypeople can get a hasty Putrescent Carrier out here, and then Drake is kind of just in a difficult spot because I guess can untap, but like Garif, the problem is that Garif isn't actually removal at this point because the Drake can just sack Platy can just sack a Eldrazi spawn or a land or two and is totally cool with it. Drake trying to block the totem with the undercover thing, not realizing that it has flying. Oh, that explains. Then yeah, Drake really has to drop the Justisar Overseer here. I'm also really surprised that Platypeople didn't main 1 Putrescent Carrier. You can do it main 2, but then you don't get to avail of the haste. Oh, and it's going to cast Flourish and Calamity, which I actually think, again, is such a big mistake compared to Ascendance Peak, because, yeah, now you just get countered. And this one thing, essentially getting, well, I guess not Time Walked, because still got in 4 damage. But that one thing could be enough to buy Drake some time to get back in this game, because Justisar removal is essentially removal. Justisar Overseer is essentially removal on this. If Drake draws another removal spell, can hopefully get a removal spell for one of the Event Horizon is actually the perfect top deck. So you play Luxurious Estate untapped, go to 1. You have the ability to Justisar Overseer block the Sunscale Totem and kill it. Event Horizon to kill the Putrescent Carrier token from Ascendance Peak, and then the Undercover token can block Nest Parasite and kill that way to prevent that one last damage from going in. So, obviously you lose to removal, but I think that you're in a situation where you lose to removal anyways. So, because if you flash in Justisar Overseer and all of Platypeople's removal is instant speed. Or not instant speed, it's burn, so we'll go face. Oh, and Drake playing the Luxurious District tapped. I think that this is a mistake because we know the Putrescent Carrier is going to come out right here. And the problem with Putrescent Carrier is Justisar Overseer can't kill it next turn because, and the Tyrant of Tributes will just lock up this game. Yeah, Platypeople ran away with this first game because of that really slow start with no interaction from Drake. Drake is a control deck which does in some aspects aim to go over the top of the opponent with stuff like Garif, and you can't do that. You can't do that while facing down. While facing down a deck like Green-Red Ramp. So Putrescent Carrier going to come down as a 4/4. Drake is forced to block this with the Undercover token, takes one from the Nest Parasite. Drake is just going to GG here. And yeah, Drake just conceding. Drake could block the Putrescent Carrier and then untap, top deck a white land, play citywide cleansing, but then the Tyrant of Tributes comes down. It would be a really hard game for Drake to claw himself back into. So I can definitely understand the concede there. Okay, looking at sideboards here. Um, I'm actually kind of interested. I'm not sure what you bring in if you're Platy. Because, like, Primal Genesis, it is card advantage, but it feels like a very anti-aggro card with the putting a body down early and gaining life. Crimson Finale is anti-aristocrats. Peaceful Turn is for Grave Hate, but I don't know that Drake's deck demands a lot of that. Rex Sage, yeah, I'm not sure about that. I could see bringing another Tyrant of Tributes because Tyrant of Tributes really ruins Control's day because it doesn't commit to the board. But yeah, not sure about that. I feel like Platy's deck is kind of well teched out in the main. Meanwhile, Drake, if you're Drake, I think you bring in. I actually don't know what the Chikyu champion is for. Yeah, well, I don't know what the Chikyu champion in the side is for. Maybe it's just for Garivalt. That might be why. Um, I could see bringing in some throw off the trail just to shuffle in invokers and stuff. Um, Maybe an elemental surprise to eat early Putrescent carriers or something, and Event Horizon to take out some of the smaller threats. But yeah, this is definitely going to be an uphill battle for Drake in this matchup. Okay, and we're getting into game two. Platy opening on a slower hand, doesn't have any plays until turn 3 with the Ophidian Invader. I think this might be a mull for Platy despite the triple lands. Drake, meanwhile, going to keep 7, has 5 lands and 2 pieces of early interaction, seems plenty chuffed with that. Platy is going to shuffle, gets a turn 1, this time has a turn 1 Putrescent Carrier, turn 1 turn 2 Nest Parasite, turn 3 Ophidian Invader. That seems like a great curve. I think you can probably bottom one of the Nest Invaders, yeah. This is a perfect curve. So Drake is probably going to play Ice Path turn 1, yeah. Just name blue? No, sorry, not blue, white. Because you want to have as many white sources as possible for the Planar Cleansing, citywide restructuring. Okay, turn 1 Putrescent Carrier, coming down, neatly underneath the counter magic. Ooh, Drake just hitting more lands. Gonna drop the Riverside View, now has Cursory Glance up, which will be able to counter this Nest Parasite if Drake so chooses. But if Drake does that and doesn't top deck another removal spell, or sorry, another counter spell, Permeating Maggot or Ophidian Invader next turn are still quite strong options. So yeah, Drake just going to Cursory Glance, and because Callback plus Cursory Glance cost 4, Drake's going to have to take the next turn off. Yeah, and just hits another land. Probably just play a luxury. I think you would just play. He's going to play the Riverside View. I think you just play Ice Path or luxury something. Okay. So you're going to swing into the Putrescent Carrier again. If you go land Permeating Maggot, he's going to play Ophidian. I was going to say land Permeating Maggot puts you 1 permanent off from Putrescent Carrier activation. And also gives you more ramp. I feel like you'd prefer to get Permeating Maggot underneath interaction than an Ophidian Invader, but maybe I'm crazy. Okay, Drake draws into a Pilfered Memories, so this turn can hold up Callback plus Cursory Glance, in addition to Pilfered Memories. If Drake, of course, plays like Luxury District or Khembul. If Drake decides to play Ice Path, we won't be able to do either. So that Ice Path is kind of lonely. You know, Platy hitting some lands, which is fine, but also, like, at this point in the game, you kind of want a little bit more gas, is my feeling. Okay, gonna swing in for 3 with the Ophidian Invader plus the Putrescent Carrier. And then main 2, yeah, either an Ophidian or a Permeating will do it here. I'm gonna play the Permeating Maggot. Drake is forced to counter this, otherwise the Putrescent Carrier just runs him over. So yeah, it's going to call back. It's a Snapcaster Mage without the Mage, basically. And then Cursory Glance it. But now Drake is completely without interaction. Has the Pilfered Memories, of course, to like and 3 lands to just like get some card draw, dig away some of this. But another Ice Path. Drake has really been flooded here. You probably just play Ice Path naming blue and you're cool with it. Yeah, plays the Ice Path naming blue. Interesting thing is that if you play Ice Path naming green, you can actually hard cast Chikyu champion if you brought that in, which I don't think Drake did, but that's an interesting thing for some matchups. Okay, Platy thinking here. I think you just play the Explorer. I guess, actually no, sorry, you want to play the Ophidian Invader first, maybe? Okay, he's just going to swing in for 3 again with the Ophidian Invader plus Putrescent Carrier. Drake is already taking so much damage off of just these weenies. It looks like Platy is deciding whether or not to pump everyone by 2 using Ophidian Invaders. I don't think Platy should at this point. I think Platy should just try to expand on expand their board presence a little bit. I guess Platy could be scared of a citywide restructuring, actually, which is entirely fair. So he's going to explore. Draws into another Permeating Maggot. Isn't going to play either. On end, Drake has the Pilfered Memories. And I think the reason for not playing either is to recover after a potential board wipe, and also because with 5 lands and 3 creatures on board, Putrescent Carrier is online next turn anyways. Oh my god, draws into 2 more lands plus a Shed the Material. I don't know why the Shed the Materials came in, maybe his anti-Perspicacity tech, but definitely looking real sad here. Okay, Drake has a Save the World as a counterspell, but this, like, again, counterspell's not gonna help here, especially with, yeah, this is just running away from Drake. Has drawn 2 non-land cards in the top, outside of their, has drawn 4 non-land cards in their top 15, but 2 non-land cards since their opening hand, which already had 5 lands. That probably feels not great. On upkeep, Platypeople's Putrescent Carrier gets a nice little buff right there. Platypeople kind of scared of the open mana, but still just gamely goes for it, is going to swing in for 7. And again, Drake has nothing. Of course, Platy doesn't know that. So Platy's just kind of sitting here like, what are they planning? And I think that's half the strength of control decks in lots of formats. It's just the psychological pressure they apply and how they make you second guess when you want to play spells. But so far, Drake's draws are not making that bluff very useful. So then Platy hits in for 7, puts Drake dead next turn, and then main 2. I also missed in that top deck the Overwhelming Grizzly. Okay. On end, Drake is going to gain 2 life off of the Khembul. Still won't save it from a 9/9 Putrescent Carrier. Last chance to top deck something. Gets an Event Horizon! That's huge! That's huge. He's going to main phase the Event Horizon. Just take out the Putrescent Carrier. Buys Drake a little bit of time and still has Save the World up. Okay, another practice range. Now has 6 lands naturally. I think it could play it and then Ophidian Invader swing in for 6 right here. Yeah, that could be useful for sure. Don't have to commit anything more to the board to have a kill in 2 turns. And I think there's this thing of like, if Drake is main phasing their removal spells, you can be pretty confident that they don't have a removal spell for Ophidian Invader. Unless, of course, it's a Justicar Overseer, but then the question is, why, if they had a Justicar Overseer last turn, why didn't they just use it? So, I'm not sure what Platy is ruminating on. Yeah, okay, he's going to go to start of combat, just swing in with both. No blocks, and I'm assuming Platy's just going to pump up everything with the Ophidian Invader. And yep, is going to Ophidian up. In response, Drake is tapping 4 to gain 2 life from Khembul. So takes a net 4 life loss. So yeah, gains 2, then loses 6. So Drake is dead next turn, barring any top-decked removal. Justiciar Overseer definitely counts. And has enough mana to counter an Overwhelming Grizzly and still play Justiciar Overseer. Drake slowly but surely keeping themselves in this game. And it's all about that fear of overcommitting into the Overseer. Overcommitting into the board wipe, not the Overseer. Okay, Platy just top-decking a land. Okay, just going to swing in with both. And then I think in response to the Justiciar Overseer, you still have to pump the Ophidian Invader so that the Overseer actually trades with the Invader. And yeah, Drake just going to tap 3. Overseer coming down. Because yeah, if you just let the Overseer die and play another Overseer, then it's just going to suffer the same fate next turn. And Drake can just 2-for-1 you. And that's not where you want to be at. So yeah, in response to the Overseer, Drake's just going to pump. Platy's just going to pump, trade with the Overseer, puts Drake down to 1 life, but once again, Khembul coming in super clutch. Drake is going to gain 2 more life. And yeah, has the Save the World to protect from Overwhelming Grizzly just killing next turn. And top decks another Overseer, making up for lost time with these Overseers for sure. So yeah, I think if Platy really wants to go for the throat, we'll probably try to Overwhelming Grizzly here. I think the safer play is double spelling with Permeating Maggot and Ophidian Invader, especially since Drake is at 3 cards in hand. So yeah, throw out the okay, he's going to throw out the Ophidian Invader first. And Drake has to Save the World this. No, Drake is letting it through. I guess because the thought is Justiciar Overseer can chomp it. Might also be scared of Burning Dawn, but Burning Dawn is going to counter the Permeating Maggot. with Save the World, then gain another 2 on end. Is that enough to save them from Overwhelming Grizzly next turn? Not really. Yeah, so unless Drake top decks another counterspell, I think they just lose next turn. Ooh, Splashback might be good enough? Splashback plus Justicar Overseer? Drake is just... Drake, by all accounts, should have been dead several turns ago. Huh, is main phasing the Khembul? I guess just to use Luxury District for something and then get to untap it? I could see that. And Platy has been... And now it's like Platy who's been on the receiving end of Flood for the past few turns. Has way too many lands. And only one legal card to play. Has to drop the Overwhelming Grizzly, really. So then okay, so let's do the math. Drops the Overwhelming Grizzly. Let's say Justicar blocks and trades with the Overwhelming Grizzly. Splashback bounces the one of the Eldrazi spawn, perma-killing it. Ophidian gets in for 4. Eldrazi spawn gets in for 2. Drake survives on 1 still. And it isn't great, but then Drake can next turn untap, get Deep Drift Totem out here, which can block the Ophidian and home, but then there's still the other Eldrazi spawn. So Splashback Totem on its own won't do it. Needs some other removal. And yeah, I have literally zero clue. Okay, I was going to say I have literally zero clue what Platypeople is hedging on. I guess it's just try to use Ophidian Invader's ability to kill instead of Overwhelming Grizzly to have more spells available. I guess also that makes sense because this way you don't lose to Counterspell. But yeah, okay, Justicar Overseer going to come down and is going to redirect the damage back to Ophidian. Platy, in turn, is going to activate Ophidian's ability. And then before damage, I'm assuming splashback one of the spawns? Yep, I'm going to splash back one of the spawns right here. So takes 2 from the spawn, and then the Ophidian trades with the Overseer. But 2 damage doesn't really matter because, again, Drake is gaining that back with Khembul each turn. Drake down to 1 card in hand. Overwhelming Grizzly for Platy, and then in grave, Drake has the Splashback Totem. Endless Paper Trail! Oh man. Wait, how much is Splashback Totem? Oh, it's like 7. Damn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Drake is, ironically, after top decking all of those lands, is 1 land short of being able to both Splashback Totem and hold up Endless Paper Trail or a Khembul. Okay, is just going to throw out the Splashback Totem. Draws 2 cards and gets a 2/2. The 2/2, of course, is immediately going to die to the Overwhelming Grizzly, so not much threat there. And now Drake is back to Land City. Wait, Drake did Drake play a land this turn? Oh my god, Drake didn't play a land this turn. That's actually good, because now Untap's Luxury District can also have Endless Paper Trail up. And wait, does Platy have enough mana for... That's 6? No! Oh, I guess Overwhelming... I was going to say, you play Permeating Maggot. I thought the Grizzly gave them haste as well. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I was going to say, play the Permeating Maggot first. Okay. Drake has to let the Overwhelming Grizzly resolve. Spawn becomes a 2/2. Oh, Grizzly counts itself. Oh, Grizzly becomes a 7/7? And it has Trample. Oh, that's pretty filthy for 6 mana. For some reason I thought it was other creatures. Hold up. So, even if Drake drops Endless Paper Trail, Drake has to drop Endless Paper Trail, and then you probably just block to kill the spawn. Yeah, you block here to kill the spawn. No, wait. Oh, you can't do that. The Endless Paper Trail has to block the Grizzly. The Totem has to lose both of them, and then Drake takes 4 and goes to 1 life. Yeeshka. Yeah, did not realize that Grizzly buffs itself. That's crazy for a 6-drop. It does have triple green density, but I feel like once you get to like the 6 mana range, density doesn't really matter unless you're really crazy on colors. Drake still has a chance here. Can use the last Justicar Overseer to trade with the Overwhelming Grizzly. And then Permeating Maggot comes down as like a 3/3 or as a 1/1 with 2 buddies, but that doesn't really matter. Okay, Drake gonna Khembul it up once again, go up to 3 life. If Drake actually wins this, it's gonna be the craziest upset. But one Burning Dawn just ends this game. Oh, and Platy getting Nest Parasite and Permeating Maggot. Lots of strong, like, lots of just more, like, it's just card advantage, really. So, I'm going to swing in with the Overwhelming Grizzly, Justice our Overseer, and I just realized Drake has double Khembul, so it's actually gaining 4 life a turn. That's actually huge. Not being legendary actually is becoming surprisingly relevant for Khembul. Okay, and so Justice R trades with the Overwhelming Grizzly. Main 2, I feel like if you're Platy, you just play Permeating and Nest Parasite as a 2-2 and a 3-3 respectively. But the crazy part is then you're only netting 1 life. No, not even playing the Okay, I think not playing the and I think this is a huge throw from Platy. You've got to pressure Drake before Drake can stabilize. Like, you can't be afraid of a board wipe now. Okay, Drake top decking? Yeah, because now Drake can save the world the Permeating Maggot. And Drake's again just going to gain 2 life off the Khembul. Just slowly but surely stabilizing. Doesn't matter if you get Drake to 1 if Drake just keeps gaining life. And this Nest Parasite being a 1-1 isn't going to get past it. Perspicacity top deck is huge, though. The problem is, Drake has the counterspell for it. Yup, Save the World going to instantly come down to counter this. And now Platy doesn't have any of that sweet card advantage. I swear, Platy has to see... is just going to pass again. Again, if Platy is afraid of the board wipe is still going to exist, no matter what Platy does. I think you can't overplay into it when Drake is gaining, like, 4 life a turn cycle. Another Save the World for Drake. Is that the full playset that Drake's drawn so far? No, okay, just the 3rd copy. And once again, just slowly but surely Khembuling up. This game, honestly, seemed unwinnable for Drake, but has kept themselves in it so well. Platy just... every time that Platy draws a land here, it's like a losing proposition. And every turn they don't play this Permeating Maggot, they're letting Drake gain another 3 life per turn cycle. Ooh, a land for Drake, not great. Is going to tap 4, gain another 2 life. Do you even play the Riverside View, or do you keep it in hand? I feel like you almost keep it in hand for a bluff. You have so much mana. Yeah, Drake's not going to play the Riverside View. That's actually pretty smart. Platy also drawing a land. And again, you can't just keep... this is how you lose. Like, just play your Permeating Maggot. I can't see the wisdom in this. Like, okay, Shed the Material is a bad top deck for Drake. Again, I guess it came in as anti-Perspicacity tech. But the problem is Perspicacity usually comes down and just wins you the game. Because you already have a bunch of spawns that you can sack in response to removal, and Shed being sorcery speed also hurts. So I think that Shed is actually a pretty bad bring-in. And if Drake actually wins this game, should take it out. And I think Drake is... I mean, if Platypeople hits a Tyrant of Tributes, shit gets real scary. I guess, no, Drake has a counterspell. And has the full playset at Riverside Views now. Goddamn. Drake is like, please, a win con for me. The crazy part is might actually just get up to 30 life with these Khembuls. And then start doing card draw. And Drake is almost to his starting life total. Okay, Platy, please play the Permeating Maggot for the love of God. Platy is throwing this so hard. I don't think I've been this mad at a competitor in so long. Play with the cards you have. Play to your outs. If Drake hits this, if Drake hits the, like a Planar Cleansing, you're screwed either way. You don't have an out to that. At least stop Drake from gaining 4 a turn cycle and keep so that if you draw something else to apply pressure, you can actually start ticking Drake's life total down. But meanwhile, both players' decks seem intent on giving them every land available. And yeah, in 2 more turns, Drake will have the 30 life necessary to start drawing cards. Has an event horizon. I think you save that and don't use it on the Nest Parasite. The Nest Parasite is honestly not that threatening at this point. So yeah, just gonna Khembul again. Platy hitting a Nest Parasite. Is Platy actually going to run out a non... oh my god, Platy actually running out another card. It's crazy. Is going to finally run out the Nest Parasite. Drake doesn't care about this because... is Platy actually going to put... yeah, Platy realizes finally you got to put the counters on. So now Drake was only going to be able to gain 1 life a turn cycle. On end is just going to Khembul again. An island. This is crazy. How many lands does each player have? So that's 8, 10, 12, 14, 15 lands on Drake's side. About 14 lands on Platy's side. Okay, now Platy can actually start... ooh, okay, Burning Dawn is an actual factual threat. Um, I don't think you counter this is the crazy part. I think you just let Burning Dawn go through, and then you Event Horizon the token. No, Drake is gonna pull the trigger on the Event Horizon too early. The Nest Parasite isn't a threat. And now doesn't have a good answer to the Burning Dawn invoke. I guess the answer is you can shed the material to exile the totem, because the totem is I forget if it's an artifact or enchantment. It's an aura, so you can exile the aura, but eesh, and it's also going to run out. Oh, is immediately going to. It has more than enough mana to immediately play the Burning Dawn. Burning Dawn is a deal 8, get a 4/4, pretty not bad, and it undoes a lot of the work that Drake had done to get their life total up. But Drake is still back at starting life total, and yeah, he's gonna go to 22 now. Then can untap, shed the material on the Sunscale totem to kill it. Throw off the trail. Did bring it in. I wonder if you're Drake, you shuffle in your own graveyard to get access back to these Endless Paper Trails and Justiciar Overseers, plus all of this actual factual interaction. Like, I could see that being the right play here, especially since Platy doesn't have anything in grave. Like, I think usually throw off the trail is just, oh, I'm in mono blue or blue X and I need grave hate. Okay, Gareve coming out from Platy. This is instantly going to eat a Save the World, I think. Because even though Shed the Material can kill a Gareve, I don't think you really want Gareve to be able to come down and manifest something, because that just puts more pressure on the board. So yeah, Gareve coming on stack. Drake is instantly going to no this. And then on end, throw off the trail on self. Shuffle in all 3 copies of Save the World, all of your stuff. I think that would honestly be a good play. Okay, he's going to Khembul. Still has mana up. Khembul again. Okay. He can still save the world he can still throw off the trail on self. He's not going to throw off the trail on self. Okay. But then, I mean, if your deck is intent on giving you every land ever, I think that you should just throw off the trail on yourself. Like, come on now. Okay, Drake going to gain 2 more life. Finally, it's the Tyrant of Tributes from Platypeople, and this could be game ending right here. He's going to Permeating Maggot first as a 3/3? Yep. I almost wonder if last turn, I know that even I was saying shouldn't let it happen, but like maybe just shed the material, like that way you get the card advantage of still having to Save the World. And Drake loses how many lands here? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So loses 8 lands, Platypeople gains 8 life. Drake still has enough lands to play a Planner Cleansing or a Citywide Restructuring if Drake rips it off the top. So I think in response you Khembul a few times, and then again, throw off the trail on yourself to get relevant cards in library. Though I guess maybe not right now, because your relevant card that isn't out is your Planner Cleansing, so you don't want to dilute the chance of you drawing that. So now it's a little too late for that. But okay, so Khembul's again. He's just going to sacrifice boatload of islands and some riverside views. I think you can just throw in a Luxurious Estate. Why not? I guess, yeah, just throw in a Luxurious Estate. And the life totals are still even, but a very different situation. Event Horizon, which doesn't help, can take out the Permeating Maggot, but not much else. Can Drake Khembul plus draw a card? Needs 7 mana for that. Yeah, can Khembul and then draw a card, which I think is honestly the best play here. Because you're not going to win this game if you don't get... No, Drake! Just draw a card off the other Khembul! Please! Oh, there's Ophidian Invader scary, though. So yeah, Ophidian Invader comes down, gives everything +3/+3, so that's 6, +9, 15, +4, 19, +6. Yeah, and Platy can just activate this. Like, obviously, can do it in response to the... Can do an Event Horizon in response to the ETB when this Propagate, but that's like, you need to answer this board. So just draw a card off Khembul, take a bunch of damage, and if you don't hit the Planner Cleansing, it's got him, GG's. But play to your outs! Okay. So yeah, this top deck Ophidian Invader just adds so much damage to the board because it turns the spawns into actual veritable threats. Okay, start of combat, Drake, draw a card. For the love of God, please draw a card off Khembul. I'm begging. Okay, actually, he's tapping 3. Yes, is going to draw a card off Khembul. Draws into Gareve, that's the wrong 6-drop. Yeah, that's kind of unfortunate. I don't know how many copies of Citywide Restructuring Drake even has. Ideally, it should be like a 3 of, I feel like, because it's the main reason that you're even in blue-white to begin with. And just, the format's only hard wipe. Okay, so then I'm going to Event Horizon on the Ophidian Invader. My thing is you actually don't play this? Does Platypeople have enough mana to Ophidian twice? Platy has 12 mana open? Oh, that just ends the game. I didn't realize that Platy had 12 mana open. In addition to being able to play, has 15 mana because of Ophidian Invader. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, that's just straight GG. I was counting on Ophidian Invader activate once, but god damn. That top deck in Ophidian Invader putting a whopping +6/+6 onto the board. And, Drake fought valiantly, but Platypeople managed to just close it out in the end. And yeah, Drake noting, missed the window when Drake should have Event Horizon in response to the ETB trigger. Double trigger would still put +4/+4, so it would be 4, 8, 10, 18, +5, 23, 23 plus... sorry, that would be... Yeah. So it would be 8 plus 10, 18 plus 5, 23 plus 7, 30. It would be exactly lethal. Yeah. That was crazy, though. Okay. Whew. In a set that honestly went like 20 minutes to half an hour longer than I thought it would. Platypeople takes down Drake 2-0 and is 2-1 in sets. So if Platypeople wins their last round in a last match in round 4, they can still make top cut. Meanwhile, unfortunately, Drake, though they fought valiantly, goes down 1-2, and with the double loss is out of contention for top cut. But yeah, I think both of these decks are super cool. I think Platypeople definitely has like the flexibility of being like, I'm an aggro deck with where is it? Was it Exiled? Yeah, with Putrescent Carrier plus a bunch of tiny dorks. Or I'm a ramp deck that just goes over the top of you. So both very linear plans, and if you don't have a strong plan of your own, can just kind of take your interaction and win in the long game. I mean, all Drake's deck has a lot of interaction. I think is generally well positioned against the meta. But again, Platy being the only person running green red Propagate makes it hard to anti-meta against. And just that's the nature of custom formats. While there are some decks that are more played than others, sometimes you just run into a matchup or a deck that only one person is playing because of how small the format is. And you just gotta take your beatings there. But yeah, until next time, this is going to be Caillou signing off.